Hello and welcome to the Blowsoc Highlights 2020. In the next hour and a half we will look back on many memories that we created throughout the year before it was unfortunately cut short. Each event will be introduced by a member of outgoing or ingoing committee with some performances by our members. Without further ado, I'll pass it over to Matt Smith to get us started.
Hello, I'm Matt and I've been the president of Blowsoc this year. So in going through the highlights of the year, something that really stood out to me has to be Welcome Week and just kind of the first few weeks of term right back in September. So I remember spending the whole summer just being so nervous for these few weeks. So I was like, I really wanted everything to go well and I was so scared that disasters would happen, but it couldn't have gone better. We had great stalls in David Ross and in music, run by our wonderful exec and artistic committees. And we had so many people come around and sign up for auditions and get more information. And I think saw a lot of people that had come around at the Freshers Picnic with Blowsoc the day after, which was indoors, but I mean, we'll still call it a picnic, which was really great to see so many people there and start socialising and just welcoming new members to the society in general. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the weather will hold off for next year, but I mean, you never know in this country. And then so we also had Windork and Moonlighters auditions over the first few weeks, which we had loads of this year, and having sat on a few of them, I know that they were all at such a high standard, so I can't imagine how tough it was for the managers to decide, but well done to everyone that got in. You've really made both ensembles such fantastic groups to be in this year, so yeah. Then after every ensemble had had their first few rehearsals, we had the pub quiz written by Jed to kind of round off the first 2 weeks of term and the kind of first initial welcome stuff before the bar crawl, which was a great night. I mean, I seem to remember being absolutely hopeless at everything, except for the pop music round, which I had some weird, like, knowledge that I just never even knew I had. But yeah, that was a really fun night. So yeah, I think that kind of concludes Welcome Week and the first few weeks of term. I've had an absolutely fantastic this year as president, and I've enjoyed so much of it. I wouldn't have had my third year any other way. Now I just want to say a huge thank you to the amazing exec and artistic committees that we've had, as none of this would have been possible without you. And also a huge thank you to everyone who's, you know, showed up week in, week out to rehearsals and come to socials, because like it's you, the members, that make Blowsoc as good as it is. So at the risk of getting even more cringy, I hope everyone's staying safe, and I can't wait to see you all next year. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye.
Thank you, Matt, for looking back at the start of the year. Also, thank you for running the society this year. You have done a smashing job. Now, time for our performance that was recorded by myself, Adam, Joe and Rose during lockdown. This piece features of 4 movements that are based on each season, strategically positioned throughout this video by Adam.
Hi, I'm John. You may know me from such Blowsoc ensembles as brass band and concert band, and today I'm here to talk to you about Blowsoc Try-It sessions. They occur twice every semester in concert band and brass band. They're an opportunity for players to try out the ensembles at the the semester and see if they are the right fit for it. Concert band spend... Oh no, I've just lost it. I can't get any flow. Hi, I'm John. You may know me from such Blowsoc ensembles, brass band and concert band. And today I'm here to talk to you about the Blowsoc Tri sessions, which occur twice each semester, one for concert band and one for brass band. The concert band Tri session consists of one half introductions and games. Oh, me! It's been so long since I've done any sort of like speaking, I just can't do it anymore! The concert band Tri session consists of two halves. The first half is an introduction and game session, followed by a second half. What is concert band? What does it mean? What's its place within Blowsoc? Concert band's fun, yo. Everyone loves it. It's a good laugh. Right, so the Tri session consists of an introduction. The concert band Tri session is split into two halves. The first half is an introductions and games half. Me. The concert band Tri session consists of two halves. The first half is introductions and games, so you can feel comfortable with all these new people around. The second half is getting a feel for the music, the types of things you're going to be playing throughout the year, particularly in consists of two halves. The first half is an introductory half, where you get to know people who are previously in the band and are currently in the band, by playing a few games together. The second half, you'll play some music, and the conductors will take you through some of the pieces they'll be playing that semester. Similarly, brass band Tri session consists of two halves. However, it is more focused on playing, so only a little bit of it is spent on introductions, and it's not as focused on... The brass band Tri session is similarly split up into two halves. However, it is more focused on playing, as brass band have playing commitments early on in each semester. There is a short introduction at the start by the manager, and then it's quickly on into the playing, where you will get a feel for what the band will play throughout the year and the standard that they are at. Both bands run auditioned, so all abilities are welcome. And it's not just freshers that we want to come along. Anyone who's never been to a Blowsoc rehearsal before is welcome to come along and try it out. Hope to see you in September. That was fine. That was fine. Okay.
Hi, I'm Hannah and I've been the double reeds conductor this year. We've had a really fun year as an ensemble and decided that we'd like to celebrate the end of the year with a recording. We all really love ABBA, so we hope you enjoy our virtual rendition of Dancing Queen.
Hi guys, Jed here to talk about the freshest neon bar crawl that we had on the 10th of October. I'm wearing my most neon top I could find. But yeah, this was the first big social of the year, so it's a great opportunity for people to meet and also to look as ridiculous as possible in their neon outfits. So firstly we started in Mooch, where we collected our ever important wristbands and introduced to many people's ridiculous costumes as well. Shortly after, we coached into town to our first bar of the night, a bar, filling the desolate dance floor. This is a great opportunity to grab some large group pictures, as well as attempting to get our free shots through an absolutely fantastic online process. But yeah, the next destination was Lloyd's, a chance to attack the bar for as many cheap pictures as possible in 40 minutes. And by this stage, it was definitely clear who was going to be struggling to make it to Rock City. Thirdly, we ventured into our good old friends' squares to consume countless test tubes of sours and have time to figure out whereabouts it all went wrong. Yeah, so our last bar of the night was Monty's, which was a new trip for many members, venturing into a bar few knew even existed. So it was a fancy setting with a few arcade machines, as well as even a Wii with Mario Kart. Our time would be short-lived there though, as it would be time to swiftly move on to Rock City. This was a fantastic end to the night, great atmosphere, surrounded by everyone, dancing to all kinds of music, and noticeably Adam was on cloud 9 for most of the evening, and he was very much enjoying it there. And obviously a few people were still aware the next morning. So yeah, here are a few highlights of that night.
Thanks John, Jed and the Double Reads. Next up is a performance from Jenica and Friends of You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story, which is a firm favourite with many of our ensembles.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Rose.
This year we've enjoyed lots of
Ensemble socials.
and hopefully you've all enjoyed lots of them too.
These have been a great way to meet new people.
Especially as a fresher who has no friends.
Inter-ensemble competition is often involved at these events.
For example, Saxes and Flutes had a really great laser tag session and we saw really strong performances from Rebecca, Bart and Kyle, though sadly Flutes did reign supreme.
Flutes and Saxes also had an enjoyable ice skating social where we saw some less strong performances from Kyle and Ollie.
Double Reed enjoyed a Christmas meal at Las Iguanas upon the insistence of Hannah Kemp, and I've heard that it was completely unrelated to the 2-for-1 cocktail offer.
There was also a Double Reeds versus Clarinet Mingle social, which was won by the Double Reeds.
A common feature of all of our socials pretty much is a post-social trip to Spoons.
However, Kyle, James and Freya took this one step further by going on a spoons crawl and getting chips at 2 o'clock in the morning, through Freya's 9 AM.
We've also had some slightly strange encounters at Spoons. For example, I was challenged by Gary to a joust.
Other ensembles have enjoyed socials too, such as percussion strip bowling.
Moons have been to Peggy's.
Not to mention Brass's impromptu camping social at a sports hall in Anglesey.
Whilst there weren't any official Windhoek socials, the weekly trip to Jono's post-rehearsal was often really needed. And I'm not even a flute. All
It's
been
a
great.
yeah.
Woo!
Ensemble socials are 100% a highlight for every Blowsoc member. Thank you, Joe and Rose. Our next performance is by our outgoing social secretary, Jed, and he played this contemporary piece as part of his third year recital.
Scared. Beast seemed so huge and vicious. Time. Man learn. He was friendly. children. Right. Camels.
So, one of the best things about Blowsoc is that we have so many fantastic student conductors for all of our many ensembles. To help them each year, we hold many conducting workshops. This year we had the opportunity to run 2 of these with our professional conductor George Morton. At these, many people turned up, gave it a go, some having conducted before, wanting to develop their skills further, some never standing in front of a group of people before, and everyone found it so beneficial. I've been lucky enough this year to get feedback from George every week, with Wind Orchestra being the assistant conductor. I conducted October in the Wind Orchestra concert Colours of Music, and also for our performance at the NCBF Regionals, which we won gold for. It's been great to have this feedback from George and this working relationship with a professional conductor, as this gives so many more opportunities for our ensemble, and hopefully this is something we can continue for many years. Not only do we just give students the opportunity for conducting, we also encourage many students to do arrangements. This year, a competition was ran for arranging with Wind Orchestra, which Jed Roylance won and did an amazing job for. He was going to conduct his piece in the Wind Orchestra concert, but sadly that was cancelled, so hopefully we'll hear the premiere soon and maybe even have Jed back to conduct.
Hi, I'm Isabel and I've been the flute manager this year. We're so proud of the work and dedication from the group, and so we thought we'd finish this year off with a high with this online concert. First we have A Whole New World from Disney's Aladdin.
the conductors on the flute ensemble in Blowsoc. Here is our piece Goodnight Sweetheart, which was arranged by the other conductor, Bart.
Hi, I'm Bart and I'm the other flute conductor. We hope you've enjoyed the concert so far. Our final piece is a medley of songs from various Studio Ghibli films. These include My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away. We hope you enjoy.
I'm Rose and I've been Double Reed's manager this year, and I'm going to be the ensembles coordinator for next year. I'm involved in lots of Blowsoc ensembles, so I've spent a lot of time in rehearsals this year, probably way too much time really, but it's definitely been the highlight of my week. Even though of course we've had to cancel lots of our concerts and events, the rehearsals still definitely haven't been a waste of time, and they've still produced loads of great memories. I mean, I'm hoping if you're watching this video that you've enjoyed rehearsals this year, like I have. I think that the student conductors have done a really great job at creating a relaxed environment for us all to play in and enjoy socialising as well as playing music. And I think the managers have done an amazing job at keeping us all fed, because as we know, the real reason that we all come to rehearsals is for the biscuits. I know I've eaten far too many. But aside from the biscuits, I think all in all we've had a really great year of rehearsals, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do next year.
Our next performance is by our wind orchestra personnel manager, Hannah. Wind Orchestra is Blowsoc's flagship ensemble. There is so much talent within the ensemble, right from the flutes, to the saxes, to the clarinets, the trumpets, horns, trombones, the tubas. There's so much talent throughout, and this came right from the auditions weekend in September all the way through to when the year was unfortunately cut short. Because of that, we only got to play one concert in the end, entitled Colours of Music, but what a concert it was. One of the highlights of this was the Instagram takeover on the SU Instagram account. This made us be able to showcase what we do as a society to the rest of the students here. We went from the grassroots, from the creating the concert, from collecting the tubular bells from Nottingham High School, to loading, unloading the van multiple times to get all the percussion stands, instruments to the Great Hall. We then included the setup and the rehearsal on the day, showcasing as much as we could. On to the actual concert, we played some amazing music including An American in Paris, October, Mask, and of course the concerto from Tom Peterkin called Colours. He played this so well and it was amazing to hear it, and he very much deserved the round of applause he got at the end.
Hi, I'm Ollie. I've been your Gen Set this year, and as part of that I have organised the lunchtime concert programme with Rachel from Blowsoc. We started back in October with our committee LTCs, which were so well received, and it was a great way to kick off the year with such a high standard. We then moved on to our performance platforms, which enabled soloists to show us what they can do, and they were so much more popular this year than they were last year, and we were really impressed with the standard of playing that was shown by not just music students, by people from all around society, and it was really nice. Then we moved on to our ensembles, which again were of such a high standard this year. My personal highlight, I think, from that term had to be the Moons LTC. It was the last one of term, and it was such a great way to end the term and go off into Christmas, and the audience were in such a good mood when they left. It was just a really nice concert. Then we moved on to the next term, which was a little bit shorter than we'd planned. Most of our ensembles, I think, managed to get their concert, but it was a shame that brass, for example, missed out on their concert, as theirs are sometimes the most popular. My personal highlight, I think, was the concert band LTC from this term. It was such a high standard, and I was really proud of everyone, and it was such a great experience conducting it. We think we managed this year to raise a total of between £800 and £900 for our four charities, which were Mind, Playlist for Life, Crisis, and the Nottingham Music Hub, which is such a good amount of money considering a lot of this term didn't happen. So yeah, thank you to everyone who performed in our concerts and to the managers for helping me organise them, and yeah, hope you enjoy.
What an incredible amount that has been raised throughout the LTCs this year. Many thanks to Ollie for organising and hosting all of these concerts, as well as keeping us informed with the weekly emails and making sure that no one ever gets away with any stupid comments they made. The next performance is brought to you by Ellie, the outgoing Moonlighters manager, along with some help from Jed and her dog Otto.
everybody, it's Hannah here, your outgoing VP. I've dug out the Christmas attire today to reminisce back to the Christmas extravaganza that we put on earlier in the year. So this year's Christmas extravaganza was definitely one of the biggest we've ever had. We filled the Genogly recital hall and we had all of our unauditioned ensembles as well as Moonlighters play in the evening. So a few highlights of the night. We decided to get really festive and we decorated the Genogly recital hall with meters and meters of paper chains as well as handmade snowflakes that were made by some of the Blowsoc members in weeks leading up to the concert. And then everybody got involved dressing up really Christmassy for the night as well as decorating their instruments. They looked absolutely fabulous. So we also did a takeover on the University of Nottingham's Instagram account, which went down really well. We showed all the preparation, the rehearsals in the afternoon, as well as snippets from the concert itself. And then the actual concert, we started off with brass. They warmed up our audience really well. And then we had some Christmas classics from our small ensembles. And then the extravaganza would not be extravagant if we didn't go all out with the refreshments in the interval, which was enjoyed by everybody, and a big shout out to Tesco and Sainsbury's who donated all of the mince pies for that. And then the second half of the concert was started by Moons. They really jazzed up Christmas for us. And then we ended with the Monster Concert Band playing some new music this year actually. We added some to the repertoire as well as some old favourites. I know for me that the extravaganza was definitely one of the most fun concerts of the year. All the hard work and effort that was put in by everybody really paid off. We raised an amazing £454.73 for Student Minds, which is just brilliant, and they were really grateful for this donation. And so without further ado, grab yourself a hot chocolate or a mulled wine, sit back, relax and enjoy one of Blowsoc's firm favourites, A Christmas Festival.
Thank you, Hannah, for organising such a great Christmas extravaganza. I, for one, enjoyed the whole evening, and it was great to conduct the Monster Concert Band at the end of the concert. You have been a great VP, and I've got big shoes to fill next year.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I've been the Moons manager this year. Unfortunately, like a lot of our gigs have been cancelled like everyone else, but we did manage to get some really good ones in. The first one we had was the Medics Christmas Ball, which was James Bond themed this year, so we got to play a James Bond themed chart that we happened to have like lying around when they were all sort of walking in, so we got to like link in with their theme a little bit. And then the next thing we got to do was after Christmas, and that was a cappella varsity gig, which is something that we've never done before, and they asked us to be their guest performance for the night, and we got to play in Nottingham Playhouse, which is something we haven't really done before, and it's like a really different acoustic to what we're used to, but it was a lot of fun, and we got to watch all these a cappella performances and things like that, and yeah, it was just a great privilege really, so hopefully they'll want us back. We also got to do Swing Sock, which we also did last year, and that's something completely different because we got to play whilst they're sort of dancing around, and they also do different competitions and things, and it's just like amazing to watch them dancing to us playing, and they get really into it and things, and they're cheering us at the end, so it's nice to be like properly noticed when we're playing, because quite often a lot of the stuff we do can be sort of like background music. And we also get to sort of play in front of an audience, which doesn't always happen when we're doing society balls. But this year we got to play in Peggy's Skylight, and we sold out on our tickets, which was amazing, and the venue was like absolutely crammed, which yeah, it was a massive surprise, but it was so good, and I think a lot of the players in the band would say that was definitely our best gig, and unfortunately it was the last one we got to do, I think, because we had to cancel the Mooch one, unfortunately. But we've also been doing a lot during lockdown. We've done 2 videos. We've done Georgia on My Mind, and we've done Forget You, and put sort of a video to that and things, and yeah, it's been great to be able to keep the band together even though we're not physically together, but I hope that next year we'll get to do a lot more, and I'm looking forward to coming back to Nottingham and watching the band perform again. Thanks.
Thanks, Ellie. All the gigs this year that Moonlighters have done have been absolutely great. Hopefully it won't be too long before we get to hear them live again.
Hey everyone, I'm Lucy and I've been Clarinet's manager this year. Obviously we couldn't do our last concerts this term like everybody couldn't, but one of the pieces we were going to play was Thank You for the Music by ABBA, so instead myself, Richard, Rose and Joe decided to record it because we feel like it's a pretty poignant piece at the moment. Hope you enjoy!
The Christmas Ball always comes at such a busy time of the year for us. We always have so many end of term concerts with every ensemble, and we have so many deadlines and caroling gigs like every other night. And then we have that one night off with the whole society and Blowsoc where we just have a chat and a dance and a laugh, and it's so much fun. This year we did things like actually getting the whole society on the dance floor for things like the cha-cha slide, which I personally love. And people requested one of the wind orchestra pieces that we played that term, and we all just sang along to it with our different parts, and we got so many group photos, but it was absolutely brilliant. And the new venue that we tried out was just gorgeous. Yeah, it's just a night full of laughs, and that combination of like the end of term Christmas spirit, and then having a drink and a catch up with some of your friends that you haven't even had time for in a while just makes it one of the biggest nights of the year and one of my personal favourites.
Thank you, Maddie, for summing up how wonderful Christmas Ball was. Thanks must go to Jed for co-organising the event with Blowsoc. Now would be a good time to thank both Maddie and Jed for all the hard work they have put in on Executive Committee this year. Maddie has kept us afloat and helped us generally throughout the year with many jobs and at concerts. Jed has done an amazing job keeping a vibrant social life in the society, as seen in many of these highlights. Our first major event of 2020 was our annual Blowsoc and Blowsoc Alumni Ocean. This started off in the rehearsal hall where everyone got to meet, were chatting, getting to know each other again, catching up from, some people may not have seen each other for a year at this point, from the last Blowsoc Ocean that is. So first of all we had a quiz run expertly and quiz mastered by Matt Smith and Jed Roylance. This was a superb event, superb quiz, got some great pizza in and everyone was chatting, and then we had the winners who I can't remember, but they did really well, so well done to them. And then we moved on to Ocean. Everyone had a fantastic night, alumni getting back into the spirit of it, reliving their student days. So many people turned up and it was so brilliant to see people again. That actually gives us time just to spend time with everyone, and that's really important, especially we've found through lockdown. So we really look forward to welcoming our alumni back next year and hope that everyone keeps safe. Our next performance is by Juliana, who is playing Pirates of the Caribbean.
everyone, I hope that you're enjoying watching back Blowsoc for the last year. I've really enjoyed being a member of Blowsoc this year, especially as your concert band manager. It's been great fun, so a massive thank you first and foremost to everyone involved in concert band. You've made my year so much easier and thoroughly enjoyable, and also Ollie and Kyle, you've been fantastic conductors and great to work with, so thank you both on that. So earlier this year we managed to travel up to Sheffield, where we put on a celebration of concert band alongside the band from the University of Sheffield's Music Players Society, and this was just such a great day. We took so many of you up to Sheffield, which was just brilliant, and everyone got on so well and it was such a lovely day. And then we put on such a high standard performance, of which I was just proud of everyone, and I was just so happy that it had been such a successful trip out and everyone really enjoyed it. I also hope to see you all soon in September in some form or capacity, so enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Becca. What a fantastic trip that was, and a way to showcase the society in another city. I'd like to thank two more members of this year's executive committee. Catherine has been the ensemble's coordinator and has done a brilliant job of keeping all the ensembles running smoothly and being on hand for any questions from the managers. Also, Ollie was our tour manager this year, and even though we never made it to Belgium thanks to Corona, I'm sure this would have been a highlight of the year, and Ollie has put so much work in throughout the year already. Now, if you want to see 4 Adams, then this next video is one for you. Here we have Adam, Adam, Adam and Adam playing a clarinet version of our signature piece we play on tour, Robin Hood. Let's hope he has mastered the beginning more than the bassoons had on our 2019 tour to Berlin.
On the 5th of March we met at Squares to go for our B for Blowsoc bar crawl. From there we went to Ozbar, Cookamara, Cookie Shake, then Route 1 and then finally finishing off our night at Rock City. It was a great night for all of us. There were some great costumes, going from bees to bins to me and Emily Knighton dressed as Bacchae, who are the followers of Bacchus, the god of wine. I think there were some great costumes, but some of the best were Joe Gibson for his Bassoon Man costume, and Rose Shepherd made a great bin. I think one of the best things about the night was the Skittle shots at Cookie Shake, but also just the oddness of walking through Nottingham in a toga. But anyway, it was a great night for all of us, so here are some of the highlights.
Hi everyone, I'm Adam and I'm the outgoing publicity and marketing officer. Yeah, this year's been a bit of a weird one with lockdown and coronavirus and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think from about the middle of March, we started cancelling all of our concerts and our rehearsals and things like that. Very sad obviously, but I think as a society we've really pulled through and kind of come together, which has been really nice. Yeah, I think one of the first things we did was the Blowsoc bake-off, where everyone baked things and sent them in and we put them out on our social media, and that was just really nice to see that everyone was sort of still willing to get involved with Blowsoc, which I thought was really quite nice. And then I guess our biggest thing since then has been the online organza. Yeah, that's been really great. I think we've now raised over £1,600 for Teenage Cancer Trust, which is a fantastic amount. Yeah, we've been featured on BBC Radio Nottingham, to name possibly the biggest thing. And the university and the Students' Union have also sort of mentioned us on their social media, amongst other places as well. So that's been really fab. It's been really great to be involved with all of that. And since then as well, we've had Flutes have done an online organza, which has been really exciting with 3 of their pieces, and Double Reeds have as well. So it's really great to see these groups still coming together, I think. And yeah, now we've opened submissions for online organza too, where we're going to play Robin Hood, so it's a bit more topical to Nottingham, and I think it'll go down really, really well. Yeah, so next we're going to watch our first online organza with Up from Disney's film of the same name. Hope you enjoy!
Our online organza was created during lockdown, and it was fantastic to see so many members get involved and that we were able to make music again. Plus, we raised an amazing amount for Teenage Cancer Trust. Many thanks, Adam, for our final highlight of the year. It goes without saying that all of these lockdown activities would not have been possible without Adam and his computer knowledge, along with Jed putting together all of the sound for the online organza. Adam has made a big difference this year, revamping our website and creating a streamlined brand across our social media accounts, and even now hasn't stopped with the creation of this highlights video and putting together online organza too. Remember that we are now taking submissions from current and alumni members for our online organza too. That brings us to the end of our Blowsoc Highlights 2020. I hope everyone has enjoyed watching back what we have got up to in the past year and that it has brought back many fond memories. I, for one, am so proud of everything that we have achieved. Don't forget to follow our social media channels and be on the lookout for our online organza too, and I hope to see many of you and any new members in September. Stay safe, and Blowsoc will always be here for you.